Not be the case. It has been increasingly common for college admissions counselors to use artificial intelligence or AI to review our college applications. Why is this a problem? The AI that is widely used in college application processes can be biased. You may think that a computer cannot be prejudiced or biased against certain races or different genders, but computers are programmed by people, and people can program their own biases into AI algorithms and codes. This bill is intended to notify college applicants if their applications are being reviewed by AI. It also requires that if an institution of higher education is using AI, then it must conduct a bias audit to detect if there are any unforeseen biases built into the AI before using the AI in the admissions process. Then, the colleges must conduct an annual bias audit afterwards and post those audits on their website. By doing the bias audits, it will make the college and applicants aware of any potential bias. According to a survey by Intelligent, an online education magazine aimed at prospective college applicants, 50% of admissions offices are currently using AI in the review process, and by the start of 2025, 80% of admissions offices plan to incorporate AI into their admissions process. How do admissions officers use AI in the admissions process? Some of the ways that admissions counselors use AI may not result in any bias, such as when admissions offices use AI to cut applicants whose GPA or SAT does not meet a certain preset threshold. Admissions officers can also use AI to scan recommendation letters to see if they're generally positive or contain any potentially red flags. An even more advanced form of AI in college admissions was employed at the University of Texas at Austin. The admissions officers at the University of Texas created a profile for the most potentially successful applicant. Then, they tried to accept applicants that fit that characteristics of this profile. The problem with using AI in this way is that the people who create these profiles have their own biases, and they can code those biases into the profile. For instance, let's say that a college decides that its most successful applicants are from a specific zip code. If this zip code is predominantly white or socially affluent, then the algorithm may unintentionally discriminate against students of color or less affluent students. The potential bias of AI is one of its biggest faults. The White House has issued an executive order stating irresponsible use of AI to lead to discrimination and bias. The White House, while working with some of the major tech companies, has proposed two things to combat this bias in AI. First, to detect if AI is being used properly, the White House proposed that companies audit their AI to detect potential bias. Second, to make people aware of the potential bias in the application process, the White House proposed that the companies notify people when AI is being used. Our bill does both of these things. Our bill requires all universities, colleges, and community colleges in Illinois to use any type of automated decision-making tool to conduct bias audits prior to using the tool and then annually thereafter. These bias audits can be done in several ways, including comparing admissions data of different races of students or comparing the AI's admitted class to historical classes. If after conducting the bias audit to the school, after conducting the bias audit, the school decides to use the AI, then the school must post the results of the audit on their admissions website. By posting the results of their bias audit, this will ensure that applicants know how AI is being used in the admissions process and whether the bias audit found any potential bias in the AI. Then, based on this information, students can determine whether or not they want to apply to college. This bill is not intended to remove all bias from the college admissions process, neither human nor AI bias. Instead, it is intended to inform students about a college's admissions process to allow them to determine if they want to apply to that college. Finally, to ensure that the colleges conduct the bias audits, our bill will fine universities $1,000 per applicant reviewed if they fail to conduct the bias audits. Even private universities, such as Northwestern, would be incentivized to conduct these bias audits because Northwestern University received over 96,000 applicants in 2023. These fines would force any university in Illinois to conduct these bias audits. We believe that this bill should be passed because having transparency and accountability in the college admissions process is essential. If you want to know if your application is being fairly treated, you should vote for this bill.